This video is going to show you how to make a gate like this. This has been made from some 4x2 timber and some feather edge boards. It's a very fast gate to make and it is very cheap. To make this gate we are going to start off by cutting all the timber to the correct length. This gate is going to be 1500mm high by 680mm wide. So I've measured the thickness of the wood, which is approximately 90mm. So I've deducted 180mm from the full height of the gate and I have placed a mark on here. I'm now going to cut 2 lengths of wood at that length. So the bottom rail in this gate is going to be this piece of 4x2. The top piece will sit on there. This will be glued and screwed together, and I'm also going to use some biscuit joints. So I've got the square and I have just marked a line there which is halfway in between. So I can now get the biscuit jointer and on all 4 corners I can now cut an hole with the biscuit jointer. I am now using a table to help me because the table is completely square. So I've set this piece of timber directly in line with this edge on the table, and that piece of timber will be set that way. If I do it that way I do not need to bother using a square. I know it is completely square. So I can now take some wood glue and paint that onto the end of the timber. And this is external wood glue, by the way. Can now just put some wood glue on the biscuit. And I can push that biscuit into position. I will also apply some wood glue to this side of the joint. I can now just tap that together to ensure that it is firmly together. Just to double check, I will get the square and I will just place that in there, and that is completely square. I'm now going to use a couple of external Turbogold XT screws and I'm going to put them in there on an angle, and that will pull the corner closer together. That will give us a nice joint. Before I do that, I'm actually going to pre-drill the timber. So I'm going to put the screw on that kind of angle. I can now drive the screw directly in there and that will pull the joint closer together. Now we'll just repeat it on that side. I'm now going to cut enough pieces to length using the chop saw. I have now set all the feather edge boards in position. Many of these boards were actually offcuts from a previous job, so I've just quickly made this gate. It is not an expensive gate. This is a very cheap way of making a gate. To speed things up, I'm going to use a nail gun to pin all of these in position. When I was spacing out the feather edge boards, I used an offcut of MDF, and I placed that at the bottom there, and then as I moved up I used it as a spacer to position my next piece of feather edge boarding. I'm now going to nail these in position. When I nail them, I am going through the thick part of the feather edge board. That will also go through the thin part of the feather edge board on that piece, and it will hold both pieces to the frame. I've now got some chemical proof gloves on and the paint kettle with some preserver in and the brush. I am now going to give the gate a couple of coats of wood preserver. I'm now going to take this gate outside and I'm going to paint it with some Cuprinol Dux Bag. This is an extremely good finish for external timber. This gate has already been treated with 3 coats of wood preserver, and now we are just going to put a bit of colour on there using the Dux Bag. Once you've hung the gate, it should look something like that.